How you guys doing?
This is 1-bit.
And hey, wait a minute, this is a new game. I've been talking about it, I've mentioned it in a couple of the other playthroughs I've done. But this, my friends, is Warframe. And it's a lot of fun. It's a free-to-play game. I think they just said that they went into their soft launch of open beta, so I'm sure that you can get into the game at this point and try it out for yourselves if you haven't up to this point. I'm going to start playing and show you why. Now, I'm not going to get too heavy into the systems of the game. I just want to get into the game, start playing it, and let you see how the game plays and show you through play why the game's so much fun and why you need to check it out for yourself. Now, if you see this little exclamation point here, that is an alert mission. Now, the cool thing about alert missions is if you do an alert mission, sometimes they'll have a little bonus award, and it's indicated by a little question mark here. Unfortunately, this one is only for 1,500 of the in-game currency, so it's not a real help to me, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and start playing in this area. Now, if you were just starting out the game, you would actually have to unlock all of these different nodes. This is actually the very first planet that you start on. The last patch, they did a kind of a soft rollback for everybody in the game. They basically changed the mod system, so everybody has to basically go back and start farming mods again, and now you actually can upgrade your mods. So I have to go back on this Warframe. Now, this is actually a pretty low level Warframe anyway. It's level 7. I have one that's leveled to the max level, which used to be level 30. I don't know if they changed that. But I'm going to go ahead and continue working with this one. And I'm going to go into the first area so that I can try to farm some mods. Now, if you look up here, it has that play now option. Let me go back for a second. You can actually change the way you want to play. You can play solo. You can play private, which means you can just go into a private match and go to your contacts list and invite your friends to play with you. Or you can go online. And if you're online, you see how there's this little man here? That's indicating that there's somebody playing this level. And if I click on this, I'm going to enter into a game with whoever that is. So I'm going to do that. And it's going to just send me straight into this game. Easy as that. Now I'm going to stay quiet because they have kind of cinematics and some voiceover work that tells you what your mission is as it loads up. Well, actually, kind of skipped over that part because this guy is in the middle of a mission. Basically, if you join the game when somebody else is in the middle of their mission, you'll just start wherever they're at. Which can be a blessing and a curse depending on the mission. Sometimes it's great because you don't have to do a lot of the starter stuff, and sometimes it sucks because you'll be in the middle of a boss battle or something, but it's a pretty good system. Now, these items that have the sheen on them, I can obviously wreck them, and I can get the loot inside. The red orbs, they refill your health. Your health does not regen over time, but your shielding does. You can see in the upper right hand corner, you have the number that represents the health and the number that represents the shield in blue. Health's in red, shield's in blue. The other indicator there are special abilities, and you unlock those special abilities by playing the game, raising your level. Now if you look in the upper left hand corner, you can see a exclamation point. That yellow exclamation point is indicating where the next part of the mission is. Now this enemy faction we're fighting here are the Grineer. And these guys are basically evil space marines. Now the stuff you see on the ground are various types of ammo. And every unique weapon takes a specific type of ammo. Now I can do a melee attack, a simple one, or I can charge up my melee attack by holding it a little bit. That is a very powerful version. Can also do a combat roll. Can't really do combos in the game. Now that was a resource. As you play the game, you collect various resources, and you can use the resources along with blueprints that drop off of bosses to build weapons, items, other warframes, which are basically the unique skins that these Tenno are inside of. Each warframe kind of has its own theme and its own combat abilities. Okay. You can go to these lockers, and the lockers drop a lot, usually a lot of in-game currency, as well as health packs, energy, which is used for your special abilities. That's what those blue orbs are. The blue orbs are not for shielding, they're for your special abilities that are up there in the right hand corner. And I'll use one of them real quick here so you can see what they look like. For instance, I have this Electricity, which I can shoot out. That actually bounces to other enemies. I have to be a little cautious here, because I'm really low on health. Weapon I'm using is called the bolter. Shoots bolts that'll stick the enemy to the wall. It's one of my personal favorites. And what happened there was one of my guys got to the end of the level. And once you get to the end of the level, everybody else gets extracted. So basically the way the game plays out is similar to a dungeon crawler like Diablo or Torchlight. You go into the level, you fight through the level, you collect the ingredients to create your gear. And once you have better gear, you can go to higher levels. Once you go to the higher levels, then they're going to have better gear, and then you just continue on. So it's kind of a grind where you're leveling up, getting better items, getting better abilities and mods, and then you're expanding your character. And it's a lot of fun. Let's see. So I have a lot of mods, well, a lot of potential things that I could do. Let's see what I actually have. I don't think I have actually any mods that, no, nothing that's compatible with this. So I could level it up if I had a compatible mod, which I don't have. Nothing compatible yet. Oh, I got Vital Sense plus 10% crit damage. So you can see that it has a 4 on it. And when I put it in, I had a capacity of 16. Actually, why is it going to 5? It switched to 5. There we go. So I have 12 left. I'm not sure why that actually increased by 1 when I placed it there. It's an odd thing. I guess it just increases the mod by 1 in that slot for some reason. I guess basically it's a way of balancing it out. So as you fill up these mods, you're taking away from your capacity, you know, and you only have a limited capacity, so you have to make decisions, you know, that are going to adjust your play style. You know, basically you can have crit damage, you can have various different types of elemental damage that you're going to find and you're going to put into place, and you're not going to be able to have everything. So right now I have crit, and you can see there's these little hash marks on the left hand side of it, and I can actually level this up, which is going to increase the amount of crit damage that I do. This does right now plus 10% crit damage. So let me see. Do I want to actually increase the amount of crit damage I do? Now, not everybody has these. These are the old type of mods that they've gotten rid of in the game. Oh, somebody's... Yeah, well, unfortunately I wasn't able to continue showing you that part because somebody started the next mission. Basically, once you join an online game, you stay in it until you leave it. So I'm with that party. And you can continue to vote on which planet you want to play through next. But after I finish the next one, I'll leave. Okay, now that's the actual text that I was talking about. And when you start the mission, you start in a stealth state. The enemies haven't seen you, so you can actually play through the levels and get a stealth playthrough. That's an option, depending on the Warframe you have. Now, obviously, if you're playing in just a random match-made game like I am, more than likely you're going to have people that just charge in weapons blazing, so you're not going to have an opportunity to do that. But if you have a group of friends together and you all have the style of Warframe that can allow for it, then you can try it out. Now, what I'm going to do right here is, I believe it's the G key. By dropping a waypoint, you can highlight an area on the ground, which is going to let your teammates know that there's something of value there. And I found a resource there. Basically, the way resource pickups work is once you pick up a resource, it disappears on your screen, but it still exists in the world for everybody else. That way you're not really fighting over resources with everybody else. Everybody has an opportunity to pick them up. And you can do some other ninja things, like you can climb up objects. You can also do a vertical wall run, which can help you cross chasms and things. You can also link your wall runs to climb up to high areas. And if you time it just right and you wall run off, you can use it to propel yourself forward. Now, the one thing here, you see this upper left-hand corner, there's an exclamation point. That's indicating where my next objective is. Oh, I'm trying to hit him with melee attacks. He keeps running. In the upper right-hand corner, I have my special attacks. And now I'm going to use the speed mod. Heard an enemy. Didn't see him though. That is a female Grineer, it looked like. It's a new model. They didn't have that in the last patch I played. Whoa. I think this is the way I gotta go. Alright, that's a new mod I got. And it's going to affect my melee weapons, looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and leave party. Yes. And that'll give me a chance to kind of go into the arsenal and change my gear. Now, actually, let me go back first. This card is something that you can collect from doing alert missions. Basically, you click on an alert mission, like the one I just was clicking on, this one here, up here, and If it has a question mark, then it means it's going to have a random reward. Sometimes those random rewards are blueprints for helmets or blueprints for weapons, and other times they're these cards, and these cards give you passive bonuses. So for instance, this one I have passive energy regeneration. This one gives me the team health regenerate over time. Increased rifle ammo, increased pistol ammo, increased shotgun ammo, and sniper ammo. Team health regenerate. I think that's a good one. And keep regen on. Nice thing about these is they actually stack. So if you have multiple people in your team that have rejuvenation, then the rate of rejuvenation is going to increase. Now you can see there's a little stuttering with the planet and things there. I think that's thanks to the new patch. Noticed a few hang-ups, but nothing too major. I notice when I'm using my weapon, it's definitely, there's a little jitteriness there that didn't exist prior to the patch, but I'm sure it's going to be ironed out in short. Okay, so true steel, let's see. Plus 5% crit chance. I believe you can't have more than one mod. Yeah. You can't have more than that, but you can take this back. So you go to mods, and I have these two true steel mods, and I will do a fusion. With this other true steel, and it will raise the grand total of that. But it's going to cost money. Okay, fortunately it's only 200, which I have. All right. So now it's plus 10 crit instead of plus 5. That's basically what all these things do, these little fusion cores. I guess they're still dropping these now, but they used to be, the mods weren't those other cards, they were these little fusion core things. But I guess they turned all the old mods into fusion cores, so now you just use them to boost up your mods. And mods basically are giving you various boosts. In this case, it's giving me crit. You can get other ones that give you fire damage, ice damage. The fire damage adds a dot over time, or damage over time effect that helps a lot against the enemy faction called the Infested. They're similar to the Flood in Halo, kind of like the zombie faction, if you will. Alien zombies. They have a lot of poison damage, and they're a pain. They really flock around you like crazy. There's also a dot that does electricity damage, and that's very good against the faction called the Corpus. And against the Grenier, you want something that does piercing attacks, similar to the Bolter, which shoots the bolts. Or you can actually get a mod that does piercing damage. Now that I got that, that's the only... I guess down here it shows everything that you can possibly equip. That's the only one I have there, so... Right. Cancel. I just said apply. Yes. So now that's modified with everything I could possibly put in here. I don't have any command mods here, so I can't do anything to level that up. Alright, so I have two things that I can put in here. So I can increase my reload speed, and I can also increase my critical damage. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, as well as this. Let's see. Now I could use all those fusion cores to level this stuff up, but I kind of want to play the game a little bit more and see what other mods drop before I start spending fusion cores to level things up. Mods, oh, cancel. I keep forgetting to click apply. Apply, yes. So those mods are slotted in there. Even here, focus. What is this? Focus Warframe. Plus 5% power strength. Oh, okay. So it's actually increasing these power. I assume that's what it's talking about when it says power strength. So the actual effects, I guess it's increasing it. And it's a rare mod. Let's see. 6. Okay, go in that slot. Can it go in any of the slots, or maybe it's only can go in? Oh, it can go in there. Oh, okay, so it has this. Oh, okay. So you can see that little V mark. So I guess it can only go into those V slots. So we have to. I guess that's what the V mark is for. So it was 6 and it cut it in half. So not only cut it in half, but it also is the only one of its kind that can go in there, I guess. So there will be other ones that have V's in, but I'll have to choose which one I want. Okay, that's interesting. I'm kind of learning this to myself, and I'm assuming that that's what this is. It's going to be a unique type as well that I can only place in there. I doubt they only have power, strength mods. There's probably a variety of different mods that you can put in here. And then you can also level it up, which is what the little hash marks on the left hand side indicate. You can be leveled up 5 times. This one could be leveled up 3. While the base powers can be leveled up 3, but this one can be leveled up to 5 times. Alright, so I'm going to apply that. And that's good for now. Now I could continue going through these planets. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to the boss in this group of planets. Basically, on every planet that you go to, there's a cluster of stars that are surrounded and that you fight your way through. When you start, everything's locked out, and you eventually fight your way to the boss. Once you get to the boss is going to have unique blueprints, usually some type of weapon is going to be dropped, as well as blueprints for a very specific type of Warframe. Now, I have the Warframe that he drops, but I don't have the mods. Yep, sounds like this level's already started. You gotta watch out for these shield guys, because they can only be attacked from an angle that that the shield isn't facing, basically. They can't be shot in the feet. That was the boss. This is the first boss, and I'm assuming most of these guys are over leveled for him, which is why it was pretty easy to take him down. Oops. I was hoping I could run up here. That's not going to work out. So I have to go back this way anyway. Oh, there's a mod over here. Oops. I don't know why these guys were stuck down here, but made them easy pickings for me. This weapon I have equipped is a heavy weapon, and it seems like they buffed it. Now the levels in here again are very similar to Diablo in that they're modular. So every time you play a level, it's not necessarily exactly the same. It's usually going to be linked together in a different way. So you're going to see similar design elements, but it's usually going to play out differently. And those little white marks on the wall indicate that you can do a wall run up. Can usually lead you to a chest or something of value. Now what he's doing is hacking the door so we can go to the next area. And that was a charge strike there. These early levels aren't all that challenging, but it'll progressively get more difficult. Generally speaking, if you're playing with competent people, you're not going to have much trouble. but the fewer people you have, the more difficult the game gets. You can also do slide down the zip line. You could do slide. And if you press, you slide with the duck button, and also if you press it while you're in midair, you do like a flying kick, and you'll land into a slide. But it can help you reach platforms you might not have gotten normally through your natural momentum. Wow, you see how the blood texture is kind of just floating in there. You have some little work to do here. But this patch just came out. I think literally like a few days ago. Oh, and they completed. And I'm probably going to leave this area and go to someplace a little bit more difficult. That session. They've added in global chat as well in this version. Let's see. Did I pick up anything for that? No. Killing blow, plus 25% charge damage. That's actually really powerful, although with this weapon it's been pretty much one-shotting everything anyway, even with the basic attacks, so. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but did I go through here already? Maybe not. Maybe I did, rather. Alright, so let's load speed and anything. Okay, continuity, Warframe, plus 5% power duration. Okay, alright, and that's also okay, so that's also V1, so I don't think I can equip it anywhere else but in that V slot, but I'm just gonna go through and check, make sure I can't. Yeah. Okay, so this one is affecting the strength of my power, and this is this one. What are we doing here? This one is affecting cancel. So this one's affecting strength, and this one's affecting duration. So obviously, depending on the type of Warframe you have, you might want a duration over strength. Now for this guy, power duration, that actually would be good for me, because with, say, the speed mod, it's going to allow me to sprint for a longer time. It's also going to make my overload last longer. It's going to make my electric shield last longer. The effects of my shock last longer. But this is just going to give me strength, which really isn't going to affect this mod or this mod, because it's not really adding any damage. You know, these ones don't do damage. This one is a stationary shield, and this one is speed. So in actuality, the duration is better for me overall. So I'm going to go ahead and get duration. because the duration is actually affecting everything, whereas the strength is only affecting 2 of my mods. And I'm going to apply that. Yes. Let's see what level I'm at. Oh, let me go back and check. I'm level 8 right now. So let's see what planet can I go to that's level 8. Lower Venus. 6. I think the boss is somewhere around here. Fossa. Yeah. 8 to 14. This is the Jackal boss. Wow, they need to lower the volume on that sound effect. It's way too loud. Basically, these indicators are telling you what's the minimal level and the maximum level for those areas. Let's see. Yeah, 40,000, so. Now I could go ahead and just buy the new Warframes if I wanted to. Well, I actually don't have enough plat to do that, but I could probably get at least one. Yeah, I could get one of the blueprints for one of them. So the Saren, and what's the other one called? The Banshee. I just don't want to spend all my money in case I need it though, for equipping stuff. And I can always find the blueprints off of a boss drop. And the Viper. What does this weapon do? Full auto pistol, known as the most compact and lightweight weapon with Grenadier arsenal. Though it has a small clip size, Viper has a very high fire rate and ultra fast reload time thanks to a simplified magazine design. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to buy that. Yeah, this is XP locked. Basically, you have to be a certain XP rank. I'm only rank 2. And I believe that's an XP 3 weapon, unless they've increased it. This is a new bow. Oh, that's pretty sweet. It's good damage, pretty low accuracy, and a very slow rate of fire. It's another new weapon set, Fang. Dual daggers, these matching stilettos have increased attack speed and can unleash a fury of multi-hit attacks. Right? Most of this stuff, since I have a lot of the weapons, I'm not going to bother buying. I'm just going to wait till I find out what planet the blueprints drop on and farm them that way. Although it might be nice to get a sentinel. Let me see. Back. I think they're in the market under equipment. Are they considered equipment? No, worm blueprint. Shade blueprint. Yeah, I could actually get both of these if I wanted to. What's the shade do? With Revenge and Ghost as default precept, Shade is well suited for stealth gameplay. Shade also comes with a burst laser pistol. This item requires 2 open slots. And Worm, what's it do? With Warrior and Crowd Dispersion as default precept, Worm is a highly offensive sentinel. Worm also comes with a laser rifle. This item requires 2 open slots. And I believe it's, what is this? Oh, it's 100,000. Wow, it's very expensive for that blueprint. Actually going ahead and buying them seems like the better deal here. Since I don't have enough for the new Warframes, and the new Warframe blueprints they seem to make everything a little bit more expensive as far as the blueprints now, which means it's going to be a little bit more of a grind. But I want to kind of keep my my cash for these Orkin reactors, because you need them in order to expand your Warframes. I'm not really in a position where I have to have those things. Whoop. Why am I... Oh, okay, somebody joined my session. Okay, this is one of the new Warframes. Oh. Basically, if I got caught in that wave, I would have been knocked down. Like that. Unfortunately, the guy I'm with seems to just want to run through the level, but I'm out to collect credits and more mods, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now, in this Corpus level, there's going to be a lot of security cameras, and there'll be times when the doorways are going to be blocked off with a laser grid. You basically have to destroy the cameras in order to pass through it. Here. Now this is a two-man door. We both have to press at the same time in order to get through it. Now there's no friendly fire in this game, so you don't really have to worry about that. But when your shields get low, it's good to duck behind cover so they regen. And you could do more damage if you get headshots or you hit somebody in a vulnerable spot. So accuracy actually does matter in the game. Some mod here. Actually, a fusion core. I guess that's going to increase the power of my mods. Now I pressed the G key on top of that so he could see it on his mini-map and then he could collect it. There's generally a courtesy you do for people you're playing with. Now these little things, they produce shields for the people that they're over. So you want to destroy them before you take out the guys. It makes life easier. I'm just going to take out the security camera. There might be something back here. This is a dead end, but whoop. I thought I destroyed the camera. Alright, I got knocked down on the ground from that, but he can actually raise me back up. If he hadn't come, I would have died. And I don't know if that's a new addition where those just instantly knock you on the ground or what. They didn't used to do that. So I didn't think I was at low health, but apparently now they just knock you out. Alright, now this is the boss. This is the Jackal. Basically the way you beat this guy, you're going to shoot one of his legs until it gives out, and then after that you can take care of his body. You have to avoid these mines that these things are placing down on the ground. You can also blow them up. Makes your life a little bit easier.
I got knocked down. Hopefully this guy sees me and comes helps me out before I die. She did, thankfully. I'm almost out of ammo. Fuck. Oh crap, I got knocked down. Now you have a limited number of continues every game. I'm going to go ahead and use one here. I see that was a little bit more difficult doing that level. Get back out of there. Go to solo. I guess you can customize the colors because I was noticing before that these weapons looked a little plain. I guess now they made it so that you can customize the colors on your weapons as well, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Okay, I see there's little dots on it, so I guess it's going to be glowing with red energy now. Okay, let's go back. There's some. It's weird, now the color's not showing up on it. And assume a lot of these little graphical glitches and things are just a result of the game still being in beta. Yeah, that's like a bug, because it's causing the, whenever I scan another item, it's taking the color off the last one I did. But I assume this will get resolved soon enough. Well, I guess it kept it. It just shows up odd for a little bit, then it goes back to normal. That works though. Looks pretty slick like that. Let me see. See if I put a little highlight on this. looks good. And escape. Let's see about. Alright, so this is the same old, same old. So that's puncture and armor piercing. Okay. Armor piercing. So I have a choice. Puncture, I believe, passes through solid objects like walls and things, whereas armor piercing is just good against, say, a Grineer, which has heavy armor. So if somebody's like standing behind an object, the Seeker's actually better. So I think it's actually a little bit better than standard armor piercing, so I'm going to go with the puncture. Apply that. There we go. Level 9. With my level, that's about the highest level map that I can get to right now. I just basically have to go to some other areas and get some farm. But that kind of gives you a general idea of how Warframe plays. It'd probably be nice to go someplace where I can show off a little acrobatics, but got plenty of time to do that in other videos. It's kind of dead right now because I'm playing pretty late at night and there aren't that many people on. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for now, and I'll come back a little bit later when there's more people on and do some different type of missions. But I think that's good for an overview. We did a couple boss battles. You got to see how the game plays out, things you can do in it, and it's quite an enjoyable game. And remember, it's free to play, so there's no reason not to go and try it out. Okay, so this has been 1Bit, and I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Thumbs up, like on Facebook, retweet once I post it, and sub later.